Well, Grandpa'd be proud. I got a drone flying in the bin. Good morning. It's hauling day. First things first, go ahead and check the oil on this beast. I've only got about, I don't know, 6,000 bushel left or so to go. We've started the sweep on the big bin. And so we're going to be loading trucks out of here and taking them to Marquis to the ethanol plant. Dad's having issues with the baby truck again, so it's not fixed. Oh, yeah. I always look for it down here, and I don't know why. It's all the way up here. Oh, we're golden. Maybe a half a quart low, maybe not even. Definitely nothing to worry about. We'll keep running her. Check the coolant in the reservoir here. Might be a little low, but I believe I have some in the truck with me. I do. So I'm not going to worry about that either. I'm going to put some in. Just do it. It's also very windy today, so if I spill any of this, it's not my fault. Plus, I'm putting this in without a funnel. I don't know where this thing is using the coolant because we just put on pretty much every line possible. We may have missed one or two. There's a lot of little short run guys, stubbies that, you know, we may not have gotten, but we did replace most everything. The upper and lower hoses, radiator hoses, and even the steel line here. We got this changed. We got another little guy on the side, on the other side. We tried to change all the hoses just because we were having issues with the antifreeze, the coolant. And so we were hoping that was going to fix our issues here. And it did. I mean, it's not leaking as bad, and certainly, I mean, I've had several lines blow on me already going down the road, which is no fun. But I mean, that's normal for a truck, I guess. I was just actually watching something on somebody that started their own trucking company, and what is the most common things with a trucking company that you got to save for? It's like coolant lines, electronics, obviously, and just cosmetic damages. And that's realistically like the biggest nightmare for all trucking companies. And tires, I'm sure. Tires is probably a big one too. Although I don't know, these have been pretty good to us, but I gotta say, the dump trailer that we've got, we were putting retreads on them. And oh boy, I blew a tire on the interstate probably at least every year. One a year anyway, which is just ridiculous. Because when a tire blows like that, I mean, it does some damage. So I guess if you're going to take any advice from me on any sort of trucking, my biggest piece of advice is don't buy retreads for trailers. Just buy brand new tires. We were thinking, no, we hardly ever use the dump trailer, you know, it's just for like maybe a month in the summer. It's just for hauling lime typically, maybe a little gravel here and there. So we'll just throw retreads on it. They're cheap. Just don't do it. And they just end up causing you more headaches and more time. For those of you that are new, I'm just using the old M here. Hooked up to a 32-foot Mayrath auger. That's our truck loading auger. It's down here in the withdraw. And it's just pulling corn out of the bin. Oh. I'm not sure how well you guys can see in here, but we've got, I don't know, probably at least 5,000-6,000 bushel left here to go. the sweep just runs along the outside of the bin and just draws all of it in. There's just a corkscrew that just brings all this corn into the center sump here. And then you've got your side sumps here too. That all pulls corn out to the outside of the bin here, through the withdraw, and then we've got another auger that loads it up into the truck. Pretty simple, pretty effective. Unfortunately, when Dad's loading that baby truck, he can't really climb in and out of the bin constantly because it just loads too fast after he gets the first pile. And so he's got to just kind of let it run. So it leaves a mess for me, but it's not that bad shoveling that back up. And now that we've got this plate built onto this sweep, we ended up putting a plate on so that anytime this corn caves, it hits that plate and just pushes the sweep back rather than just collapsing over the sweep. Because we were having those issues last summer. It would collapse, pile over the sweep. You'd have to shut the sweep off, pick it up, drag it back, turn it back on, and it sucked. It was not fun. So we made that little change there, and it has been a godsend. So corn's up big. They noticed how dry it was everywhere in the I-states, and they're finally taking note, and the markets are reacting correctly, in my opinion. However, all of this corn's already priced, so it doesn't really matter to us. And we're not really going to sell anything for fall because we don't know how big of a crop we're going to have. Yes, forward pricing is always good and all, but if you don't know what your crop's going to be, you could have 100 bushel corn standing here. You could have 40 bushel corn standing here, zeros in some places. Or if we get the rains here, and if we just get a single rain, a good rain, and and then a rain every now and then through the rest of the year, this could still make 240 bushel. I mean, it looks fantastic, and I don't know how. I mean, it's up to my chest at this point in some areas. So, I mean, a lot of this corn out here, it's 5 foot tall, green, dark green, luscious. Leaves are totally open. I don't understand that at all. So this is basically saying, hey, I want more sunlight. It's not rolled up. You'll see when they're dry and they don't want any more sun, the plant will actually just roll up like a needle and say, I don't want any more sunlight. I'm burning up and dying. But for some reason, this stuff is just like, bring it on. Bring it on, man. I haven't had rain in over a month and a half. It has been dry as can be. The dirt is cracking. It's so dry. But bring on the sunlight, man. So the fires in Canada, obviously I feel for everyone up there. The wildfires, stuff like that going on, that sucks for everybody. But I think, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but that there's been a smog, kind of like just a haze every day here for the past, 3 weeks. And I wonder if that fog isn't kind of protecting these crops a little bit from this sun. Obviously, I assume with a fog like that, you're creating light refraction and stuff like that. And I just don't think it's as direct of an impact on the corn. Maybe the UV rays, it brings the UV rays down, or the UV index, and maybe it's not so hot on the crop. And maybe I'm totally wrong on that. I could just be I'm just guessing here, but I would think a fog or a smog like that would kind of reduce the effects of the direct sunlight on these crops, and that could be a good thing. It could be helping us. Now, as far as what the smoke does to the crop, I imagine that being that far away. Yes, there's a haze around here, and I've had some air quality index, warnings and stuff like that close by. I mean, a little more north than here, but so obviously it is affecting us in some way. But I don't know if what that actually does to a crop. I have no clue. I kind of need to research that as far as, you know, up in Canada where they're actually being directly impacted by the smoke. What does that do to a crop? Does it set in new diseases, and does it affect yield? Does it do anything like that? I have no clue. I assume the photosynthesis is not as good. Anyway, seems like we are good to go, so I'm going to go ahead and get this swung around to the auger here. We'll get started hauling. So what I'm driving today is our Kenworth T800 with a 41-foot Wilson trailer. It is an automatic, yes. Make fun of me in the comments all you like. However, the reason we have automatics is because our hired hand actually didn't have a left leg, and he was a beast of a worker. Never sat and collected any money, just always worked his whole life, still does. But he obviously couldn't legally drive a truck with a clutch on it, so even though he was very capable of doing so. So we had to go with the automatics, and quite frankly, never go back. Even after my father retires, and yes, our hired hand is not working here anymore, never go back to a manual truck. It's so much simpler. A lot of the times we're just driving, 7 minutes across the river to the closest terminal for corn and beans, and it's in town. I mean, there's just no reason for it. If I was over the road trucking or anything like that, I could imagine, a manual's not so bad. A lot easier to work on. It's not as much electronics, because it's still a manual truck. It's just the clutching mechanism is automated. So going up and down hills and things like that, I do still have to pay attention. I can't just willy-nilly, I'm just driving, it's an automatic truck, I can just do whatever I want. No, I have to pay attention still. And make sure that I'm shifted into the correct gears whenever going down a hill, because otherwise the truck will get away from you. So you still want to be using that engine brake going down hills, and you still want to make sure that you're in the right gear going up hills, or you could kill the truck. So it's not totally automated for you. You can't just have anybody jump in here and think that they know what they're doing because it's automatic. So anyway, if you want truck recommendations, just buy an automatic. I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys out here that would not be caught dead driving an automatic, and I get it, but it's so nice. All right, let us get going. First things first, don't know if you've ever heard of farmer's lung, but that is a thing. So when you're climbing in these bins and unloading, just put a mask on. It takes half a second. It's gonna be hard to start this thing with one hand. Usually just fires right up. Come on, baby. Nice. Nicely done. This here is going to turn on the withdrawal and also turn on the sweep inside here. You pull this little lever on the side here, pull that out to engage the sweep. These here are your sumps that I was showing you earlier, the center sump and these side sumps. That's the slides that open. You ever wanted to see what the top of a bin looks like from the inside? Well, Grandpa'd be proud. I got a drone flying in the bin. Curious as to what they used their drones for back in the day. Check this out. I just park him right there, and then I can see when the truck's getting full. See, you guys just need to get a drone, I'm telling you. They come in handy. Actually, I can do one better. I can fly out of here without wrecking it, hopefully. It's not letting me. I gotta go into sport mode. There we go. Put it back into cine mode so it's got satellite coverage. And then I just park it above the truck. Now look at it. Okay. Who would have thought that you would need all this stuff just to load a truck these days? The best part about loading trucks is usually when you get in the truck, you can take that mask off, turn the air conditioning on. Well, unfortunately, this truck's air conditioning is not working. We just haven't put a can of Freon in it. And so, my shoe's untied. This is why we wear boots, guys. It's because we're all big children. We wear boots so we don't have to tie them all the time. Half of us forgot how to tie shoes because we've been wearing boots all our lives. Ugh. The reason I stopped wearing cowboy boots is because my back and my knees are just so shot. However, I do need to upgrade from the mesh tennis shoes. I've got some actual hiking boots, but my feet get so dang sweaty, and I'm trying to avoid the toe funguses. So every now and then I switch it up and I wear these mesh tennis shoes. So if you're ever wondering why the heck is he not wearing boots? He's a farmer. That's why. There it goes. We were having fits there and I don't know why. Okay, tarp is on. Door is wide open for some reason. The reason I got to roll that window down just to close that door, just to close any door, is because this cab is so pressure sealed, just sealed tight, which I guess is an actual, like, legal thing. You got to make sure the cab is sealed tight. I don't know. Anyway, we are headed off to Marquis. Give these boys some ethanol. Little bit of a line here, but nothing crazy. Probably be out of here in, I don't know, 10 minutes. So basically what's happening here is this is just a scale house right in front of me. And so there's a scale. That truck is sitting on a scale right now. There's one in front of me as well. And then this large arm here, this is just a probe. It sucks whatever you got in the back of the truck, sucks it up into the tubes, into the scale house. They test your corn, I guess, because they only take corn here at the moment, because this is just an ethanol plant. But they'll grab that corn, test it, weigh it, all that good stuff, give you the moisture and all that, and then weigh it on the scale. You'll go through, there'll be a pit down further. You'll dump all your corn, come back out, and you'll go onto this outbound scale that this truck here is getting on right now. They'll weigh you empty, and then they give you a ticket based on, they just subtract your heavy weight with your light weight, and they give you how many pounds of corn that you hauled in, and then whether or not, you know, it was good graded corn, or if it was kind of crappy and you had a lot of foreign material in there, or if the moisture was real bad, they'll discount you, you know, things like that. So that's basically all that's going on here. It's pretty simple. I mean, obviously, all the inner workings of making ethanol and stuff like that, that's not very simple. I couldn't tell you how they do that at all, but hauling it in here is pretty simple. Basically, we just sell through a broker. R&K is our closest one here. So we pick up the phone, call them, say, hey, we'd like to sell to Marquis, you know, 10,000 bushel or 50,000 bushel, whatever. And then they basically just create the contract through Marquis for us and take care of all the logistics. So we don't have to have an account through Marquis or anything like that. They just, the broker takes care of all of it and pays us. So basically I just pull up here, and this card here gets read by this card reader, and it'll switch to whose account it is on the screen there. It'll tell you what pit to go to and everything, and then once you get on the pit, there's another card reader, and it tells them, okay, I'm on that pit, and they can then hold on, they got my ticket kind of messed up here. Hi, this is for Randall Salisbury through R&K.
Okay, 1 second.
Yep. I just got done saying you don't got to talk to anybody. But when the ticket's not reading, you do. I think it was reading that just was coming up the wrong account. So, okay, now we're back to business here. Randall Salisbury's on the screen. They're gonna send me to pit 3 and 4. Change that to my account, or my dad's account rather. And we're good to go. They give you a little green light. And off to the races we go. Pit 3-4. We'll just pull behind one of these two trucks. I should say one of these 15 trucks. It's a little backed up right now. Yeah, what I was trying to say is that you'll pull into the pit. It'll tell them, okay, Randall Salisbury went to pit 3. They try and even out how many trucks go where to each pit, and then when you get back onto the outbound scale, which where that truck is headed now, there's an outbound scale with no probe, and you'll pull on there. There'll be another card reader, and then give you a ticket based on how many bushels you sent them. Okay, it is finally our turn to pull onto the pit. This windshield needs cleaned, man. Can't hardly see, but you can see where all the corn is. That is a pit. So that is where I'm going to be dumping this trailer, right over these grates. So I'm going to pull ahead until the back tires are just about to come over the grates, and stomp about there. I'm going to walk out and just open the two hoppers here, unload the trailer. Just like that, we're already unloaded, get pulled back off the pit here. There's the card reader that I was talking about. Basically, we'll just pull back around here and head back out. Get onto the outbound scale and get our ticket. This place is really getting backed up. Okay. Here's the outbound scale. There's the scale house that we just pulled in on earlier. Pull right up here. There's the card reader. And here's where they print your ticket. So I'll tell you your light weight. They'll subtract that from the weight that you had when you came in. And now I just wait for the ticket system to read. Basically tell them what truck I am, who I'm selling to, or selling from. Then I grab this ticket. And there you go. 1,030 bushel. Okay, now we head back home and do it all over again. And this is about a, I don't know, probably 25-30 minute drive to the farm. So about an hour round trip, and usually if we're sitting in line like this, you know, it's usually about 25 minutes or so here. So about an hour and a half every load. Usually these guys are, there's not a truck in sight hardly when you're here because they're moving them through so quick. So you usually pull onto the scale, immediately go dump, open both hoppers practically at the same time, and get out of there in 15 seconds. They don't like you doing that anymore. They do have a sign up saying dump one hopper at a time, because I assume a lot of their pits were going down because it was just too much corn at once. But still, opening it all the way, back hopper and then front hopper, you're still unloaded in less than 2 minutes and back out of there. So usually it's about a 4-minute trip through here, and then you're right back home. So, but with the lines, it's going to be about an hour and a half per trip. So we got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 more loads to go. That's going to be 7.5 hours to get done, 8-hour day. They're open till 8 p.m. So we should get done today, easily. Well, that is going to be the last load for me anyway. Dad's got one more load to go. And I would take it in for him, but I've got to go pick up my child. And then I'm leaving. I will be gone for, gosh, 8 days or something like that, going down to the Virgin Islands. Of course, it's going to be in that time frame about the 25th of June to the 30th, and there's about 3 storms coming through there, and tropical storms, possible hurricanes. So, wish me luck. I guess if you never see this video, because it probably won't be uploaded by then, I guarantee, because I've still got so much footage I got to make videos of, but if you do see it, I survived. If you don't see it, well, I'm probably in the ocean somewhere, so they're not going to stop me from having a good time, so I'm flying down there regardless. That's going to be it in this video. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you got some questions, and I will see you in the next one.